welcome to my channel. Today, I have a story to share with you. It's about a person who found themselves immersed in a world that they thought was just a book, but soon found out that it was all too real. As they delved deeper into the story, they discovered that it was a message, a call to action, and they had to take matters into their own hands to uncover the truth. Join me as I tell this story of survival and betrayal and discover for yourself the shocking revelation that awaited our protagonist. Make sure to comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the story, and don't forget to subscribe for more gripping content like this. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a wild ride. As I sat down with a cup of coffee and a new book, I didn't expect to be pulled into a world that felt eerily familiar. The words on the page seemed to come alive, painting a picture of my life in vivid detail. I read on, intrigued and unsettled as the story unfolded before me. As I delved deeper into the novel, my heart began to race. I recognized the characters, the places, the events. It was as if the author had plucked them straight from my life and woven them into the pages of the book. But as I read on, I soon realized that this was no ordinary story. The book spoke of a killer, someone who was targeting people like me, people who had a connection to the protagonist of the novel. And according to the book, the killer was still out there, looming in the shadows, waiting to strike. My mind raced as I tried to make sense of it all. Was this some kind of sick joke? A coincidence? Or was there something more sinister at play? I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me, following me, waiting for the right moment to pounce. As the days passed, my fear grew. I couldn't escape the feeling that I was being hunted. I began to see shadows moving in the corners of my eyes, hear whispers on the wind that seemed to speak my name. Every creaking floorboard, every rustling leaf sent shivers down my spine. But despite my fear, I couldn't put the book down. I needed to know how it ended, how the protagonist survived, how the killer was caught. And as I turned the final page, I was struck by a sudden realization. The book was not a warning, but a message. It was a call to action, a plea for help, and it was up to me to uncover the truth, to find the killer before it was too late. I took a deep breath and stepped outside, my eyes scanning the street for any sign of danger. But as I walked, I knew that I was not alone. The protagonist of the book walked beside me, guiding me, urging me to follow my instincts. As I saw the killer, my heart began to race. I could feel my palms start to sweat and my breath quicken. The killer was tall and lean, with piercing eyes that seemed to see right through me. He wore a black hoodie that was pulled up over his head, obscuring most of his face. For a moment, we just stood there staring at each other in silence. I could see the faintest hint of a smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. It was as if he knew that he had me right where he wanted me. But then something in me snapped. I couldn't just stand there and let him win. I had to fight back. So without thinking, I lunged forward, tackling him to the ground. We grappled for what felt like an eternity, rolling around on the pavement, each trying to gain the upper hand. The killer was strong, but I was determined. I knew that if I didn't win this fight, I would never make it out alive. Finally, I managed to get on top of him, pinning him to the ground. His eyes widened in shock, and for a moment I thought he might give up. But then he started to struggle again, thrashing and kicking. It was then that I noticed something odd about his hoodie. There was a small tear near the shoulder, revealing a tattoo underneath. It was a symbol that I recognized from the book, the killer's signature. With renewed strength, I redoubled my efforts, determined to unmask this monster. Finally, with a cry of triumph, I ripped the hoodie off, revealing the killer's face. I stared in horror as I realized who he was. Someone I had known for years, someone I had trusted, but there was no mistaking the cold, dead look in his eyes. He was the killer, and he had been right under my nose the entire time. We locked eyes for a moment, and in that instant I could see the madness and desperation that had driven him to commit these heinous acts. But I knew I couldn't let him get away with it. So, with a deep breath, I reached for my phone and dialed 911. As the police arrived and took the killer into custody, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. It was over. I had survived. But as I walked away from the scene, I knew that I would never be the same again. The horror of what had happened would stay with me forever, a constant reminder that sometimes the monsters are closer than we think.